Ahoy hoy, this is Michaela from Team Retro, where we like retro games and we like the devices that bring them to us. So Sakura Retro Modding is an Etsy store based out of France that specializes in sticker and button mods for retro gaming devices. And seeing as I ordered my 26th retro handheld this week, I figured this was a good video to showcase some of the stickers and button mods and how to effectively apply them. And so I ordered these a while back and they just came in, so we're going to modify 3 specific retro devices that I have. And so the first device that we're going to modify is the Anbernic RG351V. This is a device that's very near and dear to my heart, and we also got button mods for this device so that we can make this look more like a DMG Game Boy. So I'm going to open up this device and try not to break it, and in addition we're going to put just regular sticker mods on the Miyoo Mini and the RG353P. These are all devices that I plan on using as digital museums for my physical game carts, and so I would really like them to look the part. And hopefully I won't break anything in the process. So with that, let's dive in and let's get to work. So we're going to start by taking out the buttons on the 351V and swapping them out. And so we're going to utilize a little bit of background music in order to do that. So we're going to use a very chill tune by Dalton, aka Now the Nightmare. He's the awesome gentleman from the Steam Machine podcast. And special thanks to him for letting me use his music on my channel. So we're going to start with a couple of small pieces of tape. I used packing tape because that was what was available in my house at time of recording, but you can use masking tape or scotch tape or whatever type of tape will not damage the screen. I would not recommend duct tape or anything strong like that. And we're just going to take those 2 small pieces of tape and we're going to cover over the side buttons on the RG351V. We want to make sure that we do that in such a way so that we could still open up the back, but those buttons aren't going to come apart, because if they come apart, it is very difficult to get them back in. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the 6 screws on the back, and they're hex screws, so I used the hex bit labeled 1.5 from my iFixit kit. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to carefully and slowly remove these screws from the back of the device. Now before we go any further, we're going to just make sure we take our SD cards out of our SD card slot so we don't accidentally break anything while tearing apart this unit. And then from there, we're just going to carefully pry the backplate off of the RG351V. We just want to be very careful here because there is a ribbon cable connecting these L, R, L2, and R2 buttons to the motherboard. And there's also a Wi-Fi antenna we need to unplug. So just take things very slow, and once you get the backplate off, just before you pry too far, reach in and unplug the ribbon cable as well as the Wi-Fi antenna. And just be gentle in the process. The last thing you need is a broken ribbon cable, because that means a broken unit. So now you can see here where I unplugged the Wi-Fi antenna. So now let's carefully unplug the battery, and we can take the back part of the unit and set it aside for now. And you'll notice there are 2 more ribbon cables here. One is for the analog stick and the other is for the screen. So again, let's just carefully open those up and take these ribbon cables out. And once you open up the locks, the ribbon cables should just slide out, so just be gentle. So now you'll notice there are about 6 Phillips head screws keeping the motherboard attached to the front of the unit. So we're going to get just a Phillips head bit from my iFixit kit. And the label on the bit that I used was JISO, so that's the size you're going to need if you're using an iFixit kit. So now we're going to go ahead and remove those screws so we can take the motherboard out of the unit. Now that we've got the motherboard out, you'll notice that there is a rubber membrane that is part of the button mechanism, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to peel that off. Now we're going to lift up the unit slightly and we're just going to pop these face buttons out of the unit. Now let's go ahead and open up the new red ones from Sakura Retro Modding. And they come in this really nice tin, and they're also not labeled A, B, X, or Y, which I kind of prefer because I like to change my layout of the face buttons depending on which game I'm playing. So now I won't have to worry about the letter not corresponding to the actual button press. So let's go ahead and pop these new buttons into place, and then we're going to put the rubber membrane right back on when we're done. Here I'm just pushing the membrane into place just to make sure everything is secure. Alright, let's go ahead and start the reassembly process. So let's tuck the motherboard right back into place. Also, while we're doing this, we need to carefully slide the ribbon cable that connects the screen to the motherboard right back through the hole in the middle of the motherboard. Just try not to pull too tight. And then we're just going to go ahead and seat the motherboard right back in place. Also, just take note of the ribbon cable that houses the analog stick because I accidentally, as you could see in this footage, almost crushed it under the motherboard. Let's go ahead and seat those ribbon cables right back in place. Just pop them back in and close the locks. And just make sure everything looks nice and connected. And then we're going to go ahead and put the screws back in place, and we're going to secure the motherboard back to the unit. And I forgot to put the ribbon cable for the analog stick back into place, so let me do that really quick before I forget. Now that the board is secured back in place, let's just turn this around and test the buttons really quick, and they feel good and responsive. So far so good. I haven't broken anything, at least yet. Now the hard part comes in reconnecting the back, because now you have 3 cables to plug back into the back of the unit: the ribbon cable, the battery cable, and the Wi-Fi antenna. And this was very hard to capture on camera, but you want to make sure that that ribbon cable is nice and secure in the unit. If that comes loose, your L and R buttons are not going to work. And I know it's hard to see, but just be very careful and go very slow with this step. You don't need any cable snapping, and you don't want to accidentally break anything because, again, you'll have a broken unit. And I'll try my best to show you on camera how to reconnect everything, but again, just because of how tight this unit is, it was pretty hard to do that. But once you're confident everything is all set, you can go ahead and snap the unit closed, and we can actually begin testing. Now, I haven't sealed the back screws on yet because I want to make sure that the device powers on and works properly. So I'm going to put my SD cards back in and see what happens. Alright, moment of truth. Let's do this. We're powering on. That's a good sign. System is reading the SD cards. That's another good sign. And it looks like the L and R buttons seem to be working. So let's go ahead and shut this down and put those screws back in. Alright, and with that, our modification of the RG351V is almost done. But let's go ahead and clean all these fingerprints off of the screen because I have one more, actually two more final touches to add to this device. So we've got a nice front sticker here that is meant to cover up the Anbernic logo, but it's also meant to make this device look like an original DMG Game Boy. So we're just going to carefully line this up with the border, and we're just going to press down to make sure that it sticks. And I want to make sure that I carefully adhere this sticker to the unit because I don't want any folds or creases. So you could see here, I'm just taking my time and putting the sticker on. And ultimately, once all is said and done, this RG351V now looks as close to an original DMG Game Boy as you can get. And it's a really nice, effective mod for one of my favorite devices. And I also have a sticker mod for the back, so let's turn this around, and we're actually going to line the sticker up, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to peel off the Anbernic sticker that sits on the back of this unit. I'm taking my time with this because I want it to peel right off. I don't want it to leave any residue behind because then I'll have to go ahead and get the goo gone and then let it dry. So I think I did pretty good there. We're just going to wipe this down, make sure there's no stickiness left behind, and let's go ahead and put the new sticker back on. This sticker has a nice holographic look to it. It actually says Nintendo Game Boy Color, but then it has subtle differences, like the model number is RG351V, and it comes pretty close to looking like a Game Boy Color sticker while still keeping the nod to the fact that this is an Anbernic device. Now, the sticker is a little bit smaller than the slot that it's in, so you just want to kind of make sure that you can place the sticker as evenly as you can. Unfortunately, I kind of made a little bit of a mess of this corner here, but ultimately it still looks really good. And there you have it. And yeah, I bent the heck out of that corner repositioning this. Unfortunately, I can't undo that, but I'm willing to live with it. I made the mistake, and it's not a reflection of the quality of the sticker or anything. It's just literally my not paying enough attention. Alright, next up we have the Miyoo Mini, and we have a front sticker as well as back stickers for this device. So let's start with the back sticker. Again, we're going to go ahead and peel off the Miyoo sticker that is on the back of this unit. Again, we're going to go slow because I don't want to leave any sticky residue or anything behind that I have to clean up. And then we're going to go ahead and apply the new sticker. And I'm going to be extra careful this time and actually mind the size of the sticker versus the borders. Thankfully, this one actually fits pretty snug in that slot. And then we also have this nifty little warranty sticker that we're going to put on the bottom of the battery case. And this is going to very closely mirror what was on the bottom of the battery case on the original DMG Game Boy. So again, you just want to make sure it's centered properly, and when you take the battery case off, the sticker isn't hanging off or anything. You want it to be nice and even. Thankfully, this isn't as heavy a sticker as the other one, so if you need to peel it up and replace it a couple times, it's not going to get damaged like the one I had on the other system. Let's go ahead and apply the front sticker, and this should just line up right with the buttons on the unit and should go right up to the bottom of the screen. And if you're careful and you put it on properly, you'll barely notice that there's a sticker here because the color of the sticker very closely matches the color of the unit itself. So it looks like we have a time faded or time worn Game Boy here, even though it's the Miyoo Mini, and it looks really nice. So let's go ahead and put this next to the RG351V just to kind of appreciate how both of these units now pay homage to their source material. And now we have one final device that we're going to do a sticker mod with, and that's the Anbernic RG353V. So this device actually very much resembles a Super Nintendo controller, so we got a sticker with the Super Nintendo logo on it. Now I had a screen protector on this device, and unfortunately, I can't have a screen protector and the sticker on at the same time, I think, unless I put the sticker on first. So we're just going to go ahead and peel that off. I don't really use screen protectors on my Anbernic devices anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. The screens usually hold out. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the RG351V. I'm just going to carefully start at the bottom and slowly make my way up, and just make sure that there aren't any creases or pieces of dirt stuck underneath. And once it's in place, it looks like it's part of the unit, color and everything. Sakura Retro Modding did a great job making sure that these colors actually match the colors of the device. And so just like that, we have three great retro devices with three really nice modifications to them. And these modifications ranged from simple to slightly complicated, as we saw with the button mod with the RG351V, but now I'm very happy with those candy red buttons. It really kind of gives me that nostalgia for my childhood. And I'll leave a link in the video description to the Sakura Retro Modding Etsy store, and I highly recommend that you check out the mods that he has, because if you have one of these devices and you want to add a little bit of flair to it, this is a simple to medium way to potentially do that. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you get a sticker or a button mod for a retro device, and did that improve the quality of the device in your eyes? And if you want to continue the conversation, you can also find me in the Steam Machine Discord as well as the Retro Handhelds Discord, and I'll leave links to both of those communities in the video description. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if this video was helpful to you in any way, please be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, bye for now, and don't stop believing.